1. Let's hit start. All right. Ugh.
All right.
We made it another Monday. So let's find a sitting position that's relaxed yet alert. Go cross-legged or legs out, doesn't matter. Let's close our eyes to start and take 3 deep breaths. So let's breathe in through the nose, sit up a little bit taller. And then as you breathe out, relax your body, sink down into your mat. Feel the air as it exits your lips. Number 2, let's breathe in through the nose. And then deep breath out, letting those shoulders drop even further. Okay, last deep breath in. Long breath out. And then you can resume a normal breathing pattern. And let's relax our whole body. So relaxing your face and your head, down to your shoulders and your arms. Taking a moment to notice how your arms feel. Maybe they're tired because you swam this weekend, or maybe your hands are cold. Just notice how they feel. And then we'll work our way back to our chest as it expands as you breathe in. And then as it contracts as you exhale. Okay. Down to your belly, same thing, expanding and contracting. And then we're gonna move on to the lower half of our body. So notice as your glutes feel against your mat as you're sitting here, down through your quads and your hamstrings. And if you're sitting cross-legged like me, down from your to your shins. Now your shins touch your feet. And then let your feet feel against your mat. Let's just notice how our whole body feels as we continue to breathe. For the next minute or so, just notice how your breath feels, whether that's where the air hits your nostrils on the in-breath, or the air exits your lips. You can even be your breath against your body. In these last few moments, I want you to just sit here and do nothing at all. Focus and think about nothing at all. All right. Let's take one more deep breath in and hold it at the top. And when you hear the singing bowl, I want you to breathe out with a long exhale. Let's open up our eyes if you haven't already. And let's start with a side stretch. So take both hands and both arms and reach up slowly towards the ceiling. Begin to wake back up. Let's start on the right side. So place your right palm on the mat. Left arm goes over your body. Reach for the upper right hand corner of the room with left arm. And keep that left sit bone planted. And feel the stretch as it goes all the way down your side. And then we'll lift the right hand back up to the ceiling. And then we'll get the other side. So left hand is planted. Right arm reaches over your body. A straight line. Feel the stretch go all the way down the right side. And then let's bring that left arm back up to the top. And bring both hands back to center. And then we're going to twist our bodies towards the right. So place the left hand on the right knee. Plant that right hand on the floor behind you. Okay. Sit up a little bit taller and twist to the right. And then exhale and unwind. And let's twist in the opposite direction. So left hand is planted behind you. Right hand is pressed into your left knee. All right, let's exhale and come back to center. And then we'll get our inner thighs. So bring the soles of your feet together. Gently pull your heels in towards your soft tissue. Okay, knees drop down. And then keeping your back straight, lean forward, trying to bring your navel to your toes. And every time you exhale, see if you can pull yourself closer to the ground. All right, and then let's round out our backs and place your hands or fingertips on the floor in front of you and reach, crawling with your fingers, letting the knees drop down even further. And then you can gently sit back up. And let's do something different. Let's extend out our legs wide, wide as feels comfortable. Okay, straight on the ground. Let's gently reach forward. Okay, kind of repeating what we just did. So reaching towards the middle to start. Feet are flexed. So your toes are facing the ceiling. And then we'll reach towards the left, toward the left toes, left foot. Reach evenly with both hands. So you feel the stretch in your left hamstring. And then we'll gently come back to center for a moment and then move over to the right. Okay, keeping the back of the right knee on the mat or on the floor. And then we'll go 2 times for each side. So slowly back to center, then back to the left. Over. And make your way back to the right. Doesn't need to be fast. And then you release your right foot or right side, and then we'll stand up. Ugh. Ugh. So find a nice wide stance. We're continuing with the hamstring. Legs are straight, toes are facing forward, arms reach up. Okay, try to touch the ceiling. And then exhale as you swan dive forward, folding your forearms, resting your head, your forearms, and rock side to side. And every time you breathe out, sink a little bit lower, a little bit closer to the ground. All right, let's clasp our hands behind us and reach our hands towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room, adding the shoulders, further letting the weight of our upper body accentuate the stretch in our hamstring. We're breathing. Ooh. And then let's release the hands back down to the ground. Let's plant the right palm on the floor, pressing the right palm into the floor as we do so, and reach for the ceiling with the left fingertips, turning the chin, looking up, opening up the chest on the left side. The hamstrings are really starting to open. And then exhale as you bring the left arm back down to the ground. Okay, plant that left palm into the floor. Right arm reaches up. And we're breathing, forgetting about how our hamstrings feel, but thinking about how our right hand feels up in the air as the left palm is planted. Let's bring the right arm gently back down. Okay. Both palms are on the floor. We're going to add the hip stretch. So let's start with the left side. So slowly rotate over to the left. So you're in a low lunge. You can support yourself with your hands for a moment. And then drop the back knee down. Bring your arms and torso up. Okay. You should feel the stretch in your right hip. You can rotate your hip forward. Or you should be rotating your hip forward, I should say. Oof. Say hello to the right hip. And if your hands are in the air like mine, gently drop them back down. And then we're going to rotate our torso counterclockwise. Okay, so plant your right hand on the outside part of your left knee. Left hand can go on your left hip. We're twisting as we're continuing the stretch in your right hip. Well, 2 and 1. I love a nice 2 and 1. Maximum efficiency. All right, let's bring the arms back up into the air for a moment. And then exhale, bring the hands back down. Return the right knee up into the air and you're on your right toes in the low lunge. And gently come back to center, straighten up both legs for a moment. And then rotate in a low lunge on the right, supporting yourself with your fingertips or your hands. Let's drop the left knee down, untuck the left toes, arms and torso come up into the air. And we're feeling the left hip now. Maybe every time you breathe out, rotate a little bit more, get deeper to that left hip stretch. And then arms slowly come back down to the ground. And let's twist clockwise. Okay, left hand is on the outside part of the right knee. Right hand is on your right hip. We're twisting or stretching the left hip. Lots of hips. And let's come back facing forward. Arms return up for just a moment. And then bring the hands back down to the mat. Lift the left knee. We're in a low lunge on the right for just a moment. And then comes back to center, back to where we started. Toes are facing forward, legs are straight. Let the weight of your upper body do the stretching. If you couldn't tell, I need some hamstring stretching and hips. That's why we're here for so long. But hey, I'm the leader. I can do what I want. All right, let's straighten up on our 10 counts. So 1, 2, 3. Let your arms dangle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I'm gonna bring my legs back together. No need to keep that stance for that long. All right, let's do a standing side stretch and then we'll do our shoulders and triceps after. So arms reach up as we look up. Okay, really reach for the ceiling. Let's start on the left side. So drop the left arm down, kicking out the right hip. I guess we're starting on the right side. Doesn't matter, we'll hit both sides. But we're reaching just like the sitting version. And that stretch should go from your hip all the way up to your fingertips. Active reach. Don't just leave the arm there. And then we're going to return the left hand back up into the air. Drop the right hand down. And we're kicking out the left hip as we reach our left fingertips up, turning the chin and looking up. Okay, connecting the breath with the movement. Exhale means you reach more. And then right hand comes back up. And then hands come back to center. And let's get our left arm across our chest for a little shoulder action. A little shoulders, tricep, neck. Okay. Oof. Peppering ourselves for a little down dog to come. And let's switch sides. Oof. Grunting as we go. And let's release that right arm. Get the left arm behind the head. Pulling on the left elbow. Okay, feel free to lean to the right if you want to add a little side stretch on the left. And we'll straighten up and switch arms. Right arm is behind the head. We're pulling on the right elbow. Okay, optional lean to the left. And let's straighten back up, releasing the right elbow. And then we're going to grab the left wrist behind our back, dropping the head over to the right or the chicken wing side. Okay, as you exhale, see if you can reach your right ear, your right shoulder even more. And then rotate the head as you look down. And let's rotate the head back as we look up. And then bring the head back to the neutral position. And then back up top and switch wrists. So now we're dropping the head over to the left. And give yourself a nice long exhale as you relax your head over to the left even more. And let's tilt our head back as we look up here. And you feel the stretch as it changes to the front. All right, let's rotate the head down as we look to the ground. Oof. And then back to neutral. Let's bring our head back up top and release that wrist. All right, let's do Malasana and then we'll do hamstrings and then more moving options. So legs are, just wider than shoulder width. Oh, I forgot what shoulders were called for a second there. You can keep your hands at center if that's comfortable, or you can even put your hands on your legs, whatever's easy for you. As you lower yourself down, I think I'm going to go for the support version today. It's one of those weeks. I feel like a sumo wrestler. And every time you breathe out, so you can lower yourself maybe a few more millimeters. Oh my. Ooh. And we'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Ooh. Woo. All right, let's do a split leg hamstring stretch before we do our sun salutation stuff. So I'm gonna start with my left leg out in front. My heels are in line, left toes facing forward, arms come up. And then we're gonna swan dive over the straight left leg. You can either support yourself with the hands on the ground, hands on the leg, hands on the ankle, whatever. But drive that right hip forward. Feel that pinch in the left hamstring. It should feel pretty open at this point. We've been stretching the hamstrings a lot. And if not, that's also good. See if you can touch your nose to your knee. And let's bend the left knee and bring our torsos up and switch legs. You can either rotate 180 degrees or just switch legs. Both options work. But heels are in line, right toes face forward, arms reach up. And we exhale and swan dive over the straight right leg. Okay, left hip drives forward. You feel a pinch in the right hamstring. Trying to touch our nose to our right knee. Ooh. And let's bend the right knee gently and come on up. Oh, all right. So step or walk towards the front of your mat, legs together, stand up nice and tall. Reach the arms up, look through your hands towards the ceiling. And then we're going to swan dive down, up to flat back. And then exhale down, eyes up, reverse swan dive. For one, hands at the top. Swan dive down, up to flat back. Round at your back, eyes up, reverse swan dive. And then we're going to start swan dive back down, up to flat back. And as you breathe out, round at your back, plant both palms and come into a plank position. Let's chaturanga down to our first upward dog of the day. Hold that upward dog. Get your head and neck away from your shoulders. Okay, arms are straight and strong. If you need to relax your legs down for a moment, feel free to do so. You know what? Let's do that. Drop your legs down so you can push a little bit further away from the mat. And let's turn our head clockwise and look at our right heel. Okay. Feel the stretch in your left hip. And then let's rotate the head to the right. Look at the right heel. Left heel. Hopefully you feel a little bit more of a stretch in your right hip. Let's bring the gaze back forward. Get back into a upward dog. Okay, back to plank. Push up here. And into our first downward dog of the day as both of my shoulders crack. We love that. Fingertips are spread in downward dog. You push the floor away. Feel those calves stretch out. And we're going to do a focused calf stretch. So bring both feet together for a moment. And then rest the right foot on the left heel. Okay, super calf stretch. That left leg is straight. And that stretch goes from your heel all the way up your calf. And switch sides. So planting the right toes on the mat. Resting the left foot on the right heel. Stretching out the right calf. We'll do 3 times each side because that feels really good. Okay, working the shoulders up top at the same time. We love that. Switch sides, back and the left. Right foot is resting ever so gently, adding a little weight to the stretch. And then we're back on the right for a second time. Remember, we're doing 3 times each side. Last time on the left. Okay, last time overall, back to the right. Don't worry, I'll give your shoulders a rest in just a moment. And come back to a downward dog. And walk the feet towards the hands. And reverse swan dive. Hands are at the top. Swan dive back down. Ooh, if the ground feels real close. Up to flat back. That's a good thing. Hamstrings are opening up even more. Exhale, plant both palms, stepping back to a plank position. And chaturanga down to an upward dog. Back to plank. Push up here if you like. And returning to downward dog. And let's do a runner's stretch and runner's pose. So bring your feet and legs together. Let's start on the right side. So float that right leg up into the air and swing the right leg through to your low lunge. Okay, raise your torso so that your fingertips are barely touching your mat. You're supporting yourself with the right leg. And let's go into a runner stretch. So plant both palms or all the fingertips on the left side of that right foot, and then lower your pelvis is down to the ground as much as you can. That left leg is straight. Okay, hopefully you feel that in your right hamstring. You can come down your elbows here even better, but no worries if you can't. And let's return to the low lunge, fingertips barely touching the floor. And let's plant both palms, return to plank. Let's chaturanga down to an upward dog. Okay, I'm going to skip the sun salutation here. Return to a plank position and into down dog. And then let's hit the left side. So feet together, float the left leg up into the air. And swing that left leg through and plant it in front. And come into a low lunge on the left. And then let's do a runner stretch for this side. So plant both palms on the floor, right side of the left foot. Okay, right leg is straight. That stretch is very much felt in the left hamstring. And return to a low lunge. Plant both palms. Left leg comes back to plank. We're going to chaturanga down to an upward dog. Back to plank. Push up here if you like. And into downward dog. And let's do our standard crescent pose to prayer twist. So we're back on the right. Feet and legs together. Float that right leg up into the air. And swing that right leg through and plant it in front. And bring your arms and torso up. Okay, reach to the ground with your left heel. Front knee is tracking over the front ankle. And bring your hands together at heart center as you come into prayer twist on the right. Hands are stacked. Right elbow is facing the ceiling. What are we praying for this week? Well, I have two phone screens this week, so let's hope those go well. Still looking for a job. Anyhow, let's return to our crescent pose. And as you breathe out, bring your arms and torso back down. Plant those palms. Right leg comes back to plank. Let's chaturanga down into our upward dog. Okay, adding a sun salutation here. Back to plank. Walk the feet towards the hands. In reverse swan dive. Hands are at the top. Exhale as we swan dive down. Up to flat back. And exhale, round at the back, plant both palms, stepping back to a plank position, and chaturanga down to upward dog. Back to plank, push up here, and into downward dog. And let's repeat that on the left. So feet and legs together, float that left leg up into the air. And swing the left leg through and plant it in front. And come into a crescent pose. Arms reach up. Gaze looking forward. Right heel reaches for the mat. Left knee is tracking over the left ankle. Maybe your left quad is parallel to the ground. And we're going to bring our hands to heart center as we turn into a prayer twist on the left. Hands are gently pressed together. Left elbow faces the ceiling. And we're breathing. And let's exit prayer twist, returning into a crescent pose. Let's gently bring our arms and torso back down. Plant both palms. Left leg comes back to plank and chaturanga down to upward dog. Back to plank. Uh, Chaturanga down. Back into an upward dog. Sorry. Lost my sequence in my head. Back to plank. Push up here if you like. And into downward dog. And let's just rest in downward dog for a moment. So we're back on the right side. We're going to do a warrior sequence. So feet and legs together. Float that right leg up into the air. And swing your right leg through and plant it in front. And as your arms come up, your back heel comes down for warrior one. Settle into your warrior one. Relax your breath. And arms front and back for warrior two. Okay, arms and palms parallel to the ground. Hips 90 degrees from the long side of your mat. Shoulders right above your hips. Add the arm. And let's dip back into reverse warrior. So plant the left hand gently on the left leg. Right arm reaches over your body to the back of the room. Back to warrior two. And let's do our triangle pose. So reach forward as far as you possibly can. And you can't reach any further. Drop the right palm, right fingertips down to the ground. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling. We're looking up. And let's do the pretzel variation this week. So drop the left hand behind the lower back. Right arm reaches underneath the right leg. We're balancing and breathing. And then we'll exit in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands. Back to triangle pose. Let's hop back up into warrior two. Dipping back into reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Swing that left arm forward and up for warrior one. And bring everything back down. Left heel comes up. Plant both palms. Right leg comes back to plank. Let's chaturanga down. Upward dog. Back to plank. Walk the feet towards the hands. And reverse swan dive. Until your hands are at the top. Swan dive down. Up to flat back. Exhale, round out that back. Plant both palms, stepping back into a plank position. Let's chaturanga down to upward dog. Oof. Back to plank. Push up. You're still with me there. Into downward dog. Now we're repeating on the left. So feet and legs together. Float the left foot up into the air. Swing it through and plant it in front. And come into warrior one on the left. That right heel is down. The left knee is tracking over the left ankle. And come to warrior two, palms facing the ground, eyes facing forward. And let's dip back into reverse warrior. Right hand is resting ever so gently on the right leg. Left fingertips reach for the back of the room. And back to warrior two for a moment. And then reach forward with the left fingertips now. When you can reach no further, left hand comes down to the ground. Eyes and right fingertips reach up. Settle with the breath. And drop the right hand behind the lower back. Left arm reaches underneath the left leg. Make contact. Then try to rotate your right shoulder and chest and open up as you Continue to look up. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Left hand's back on the ground. Right hand is back up. And then let's return to warrior 2. Let's dip back into reverse warrior. Back to warrior 2. Right arm swings forward and up for warrior 1. And then everything comes back down. Right heel comes up, plant both palms, left leg comes back to plank. And let's chaturanga down. Do our upward dog. Back to plank and into downward dog. Oh, this is our last downward dog of the day, so enjoy the stretch in those calves. All right, chair pose is next. So walk the feet slowly towards your hands and bring your feet together. Drop your bottom down, arms come up, feet, knees, legs together, arms are parallel. And you're breathing. All right, keeping the arms and torso where they are. Slowly straighten up your body. Lift the heels off the mat. Reach for the ceiling. Working the calves. Continue to breathe as you lift the heels up as high as you can. All right. And as you breathe out, lower the heels down. Bring the hands to heart center and come into prayer twist on the right. So let's press the left elbow gently into the right knee and see how much you can bend your knees. Lower your bottom down in twisting chair pose. Hey, you might even be able to turn your head a little bit further to the right as you look up. Right elbow is turned up. And we're bringing the hands back to center and then reaching the arms back up at the top. We're back to balancing on our toes. Okay, arms and palms are parallel. Give me an active reach with those calves. Okay, constantly reaching up. And take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, lower the heels back down, hands come back to center. We're going to go into twisting chair pose on the left. I almost said prayer twist because they feel the same. Muscle memory kicked in, but I overrode that. Look at me. Ooh. All right, let's come back to center and straighten up our bodies as we reach up. Okay, back on the toes. Palms are parallel. Reach. Reach, 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 reach with the body. Okay, really working the calves. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale as you drop the heels back down. Hands come to center. I'm going to rotate back to the front. And let's go straight into a tree pose. So let's get 98% of our weight on our left leg. Get the right foot into position wherever feels good for you. Right? Add the arms as needed. wherever your balance is centered. Lengthen the spine. Breathe. And we'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot comes out. We'll shake out the left ankle. Let's get 98% of our weight on our right foot and our right leg. So we get our left foot into position, adding the arms. Remembering to breathe. And we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left foot comes out, shaking out the right ankle. Ooh, let's have a seat. Ugh. Ugh. All right. Let's start with tried and true table. So plant the feet in front, about shoulder width. Plant the palms behind, also about shoulder width. And prop yourself up. Push those hips up towards the ceiling as you drop your head back. Active, hold, constantly push those hips up and feel the shoulders stretch out. Feel many things being activated here. Every time you breathe out, push those hips up a little bit more. And on your next out breath, gently drop your bottom back down, lie down on your back. Get ready for a glute bridge. Ooh. Oh. Roll onto the shoulders. You can clasp your fingertips underneath your lower back and push your hips once again up towards the ceiling, preventing the knees from bowing out. Pretend like you're holding a ball in between your knees and push. Feel the glutes and the hamstrings. And one vertebra at a time, control the lowering portion all the way back down. Okay. I'm going to stand our backs for happy baby. So bring both legs up into the air. Grab the outside parts of your feet, pulling your knees in towards your underarms. Okay, I feel the stretch in my inner thighs. And rock gently left to right, right to left. Okay, and also give me a gentle active pull on the feet to feel those inner thighs while we're massaging our spine against our mats. Oof. And then you can release the feet back down to the ground. Let's do a glute stretch. So left foot is planted for a moment, right ankle is on the left knee. We're gonna thread the needle. So grab your left shin, pull the left knee towards you a little bit, and feel the right glute. We'll do 3 long breaths. I'll call it out as usual. So let's breathe in through the nose. And long breath out, like you're blowing out a birthday cake with lots of candles. Okay, breathe into that right glute. Feel the right glute stretch out. Number 2, let's breathe into the nose and out through the mouth. Last time for this side, breathing in And exhale slowly. All right, let's release the left shin, plant the right foot down. Left ankle comes into position. We're going to grab the right shin now, feeling the stretch on the left side, and repeating those 3 breaths. So breathe into the nose and out through the mouth. Once again, breathing into the nose. And then feel the air as it exits your lips. Oh, hello, left glute. All right, last time before we do a supine twist, breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. And then let go of that right shin. Okay, let's pull in the right knee towards our chest for just a moment. And then pull your your right leg over to the left side of your body. Right arm extends out to the right. Feel your spine twist. Oof. Oof. And every time you exhale, just like every other pose, you can twist a little bit more, reach a little bit more with the knee and the right hand. Oh, all right. Let's bring that right leg back to center and hug in our left knee for just a moment. And let's pull our left knee over to the right side of our body. Oof. And same thing, we're breathing and twisting. Long breaths out as you look to the left. Very good. Let's bring the left leg back over as we use the weight of our left leg to sit up. Let's do a cat-cow. Oh, I'm gonna roll up my mat here. One more cushion for my knees. But we're on all fours. Knees and palms are hip distance. And let's do 5 breath cycles. So inhale as you bring your head up and your chest is down to the mat or the floor. And then round out your back as you exhale for 1. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down while shoulders still cracking. Inhale, head up for 3. Exhale, head down. Ooh, really reach for the ceiling with your spine. Okay, number 4, breathe in, head up. And exhale, head down. When you're in the head down, really push into the floor with the palms. We have 1 more breath cycle. So breathe in, head up. And last time down here. Exhale, push into the floor. Reach for the ceiling with your spine. And then come to a neutral position. All right, let's unravel our mat. Let's sit on our heels. About time to do our closing sequence. So Knees about as wide as your mat, sitting on your heels to start. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, reach the arms forward, head and torso come down to the mat for child's pose. Take a moment here and thank your body for everything you ask it to do. Forehead is on the mat, forearms are on the mat. Relax into it. Let's add a bonus side stretch. So right hand comes out to the right, stack the left hand over the right. Okay, feel the stretch go through the left side of your body. And let's come back to a neutral child's pose for a few moments. And then reach your left arm out to the left, stacking our right hand over the left. Hmm. All right, come back into a neutral child's pose. Take a deep breath into the nose. And as you exhale, come forward out of child's pose and rotate onto your back for corpse pose. And legs are out straight. Arms are resting at your side. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. I recommend it. And we'll go for 60 seconds and just continue to scan your body, see how you feel. All right, that was about 60 seconds. You can keep your eyes closed, lift the arms overhead, point the toes at the bottom, and give yourself a nice morning stretch. Ugh, I'm even yawning just like I just got out of bed. Over to the right, over to the left. Ooh, arching my back. Oof. And let's rotate onto your side. Rest your head and face on your hands. Take a moment for yourself. All right. Whichever arm is on top, plant that palm on the floor and gently push yourself up. And find a comfortable sitting position. Oh, okay. Lengthening your spine, plugging the crown of your head up to the ceiling. And let's do 3 audible breaths to end today's practice. So breathe in through the nose and breathe out with some sound. Okay, once again, breathing into the nose and breathe out with some sound. Right, last one. Let's breathe into the nose and breathe out with some sound. Bring your hands to namaste at your heart. You may repeat after me if you wish. May you have clear and kind intention. Let's raise our hands to our foreheads. May you have clear and kind thoughts. Lowering your hands to your lips. May you have clear and kind communications. And then returning your hands to your hearts. And as always, the light in me celebrates and honors the light in you. Namaste, my friend.